Well, I'm finally back in the studio, and that means I can record some JG9 news stuff. It feels good to be back. Hopefully I didn't miss anything controversial while I was gone. Right? Right? Oh, crap. Welcome everybody to JG9 News, where we talk all things NFL all the time. I'm Jaguar Gamer 9, representing the 904 from the 602, and today we are talking about what happened at the 2024 ESPYs. Before I talk about that, ignore the helmets behind me. That's for a video coming out on JG9 on Sunday, so be sure to check that out when it drops sometime around 9 a.m. Eastern. But regarding what happened at the ESPYs, every year ESPN throws an award show honoring the best moments in sports, the best athletes in sports, some courageous people that have made a difference in the sporting industry. And this year's ceremony was hosted by Serena Williams, and there were some good moments from that show, but there was one moment that's being talked about today, and there was one moment that really stole the thunder of everything, and it was this comment made by Serena Williams about Kansas City Chiefs kicker Harrison Butker. Take a listen.
So go ahead and enjoy women's sports like you would any other sports, because they are sports.
Yes.
Except you, Harrison Butker. We don't need you.
At all, like ever.
So you might remember earlier this offseason, Harrison Butker did a commencement speech, a very controversial commencement speech at a college, and I talked about that on the channel before. Go check it out if you haven't already. I'll leave a link in the upper right corner and a link in the description down below. But his comments drew a ton of criticism from a lot of different people. The Los Angeles Chargers mocked it in their schedule release video. Roger Goodell put out a statement saying that he did not agree with anything that Butker was saying whatsoever, and his comments were extremely, extremely divisive. Now, I've talked about his comments before on the channel. It's no secret that I disagree with what Butker said. The time and the place was inappropriate. This was a college commencement made to honor the accomplishments of the graduating class and prepare them for the world ahead of them. And he injected divisive politics into this, and he told the women that the best thing they can do is provide for their families, which by itself, not the worst message, but he picked the absolute worst way to go about it. What he basically said was that your $200,000 degree that you went into student loan debt for, completely useless. You should just stay at home and provide for the family. Not the best message, not the time, not the place to say it. Incredibly divisive for a team that I'm presuming has the largest female audience in the NFL due to their general popularity by winning, and of course because of the Taylor Swift-Travis Kelce connection. So I want to make this extremely clear before going any further. In no way whatsoever is what I'm about to say an endorsement of Harrison Butker's comments. I want to make that very clear. I do not agree with what Butker said. I do not agree with the manner in which he said it. I don't agree with the time. I don't agree with the place. I don't agree with a lot of what Harrison Butker said. Having said that, this moment at the ESPYs that is being talked about, absolutely shameful. Absolutely shameful on the part of ESPN. I don't really blame Serena Williams a whole lot for this. I am blaming ESPN and ESPN alone. You look at the About Us statement for the ESPYs. This is essentially their mission statement. Look at what it says. Top celebrities from sports and entertainment will come together to commemorate the past year in sports by recognizing major athletic achievements, reliving unforgettable moments, and saluting the leading performers and performances. Now, the word commemorate, that's the purpose of the ESPYs. It's to commemorate. Words have meaning. Commemorate means to recall and show respect for, or it means to celebrate. You can use it in one of those two definitions. So let me ask you this. How did this comment and how did this jab at Butker have anything whatsoever, anything to do with the mission statement of the ESPYs? It completely went against everything that the show stands for. We're going to commemorate the past year in sports. We're going to celebrate people. We're going to recall and show respect for people. And we're going to bring this up. I fail to see how recognizing Butker's comments deemed to be sexist by many, and then bashing him by saying, hey, if you think the same way that Butker does, we don't need you or want you supporting our industry, commemorates and respects and celebrates anything. If anything, it alienates people. That's the exact opposite of commemorating. What this jab did more than anything else was take the spotlight away from those who deserve it, which is the point of the ESPYs. Again, there were some great moments from the ESPYs that deserve to be recognized. Dawn Staley gave an incredible speech. Steve Gleason, I don't know what took him so long to get recognized, but he finally got recognized for just being a huge inspiration in the fight against ALS. And then South Carolina being recognized in the biggest season in women's basketball history for going undefeated. They were phenomenal this year. They were so much fun to watch. And yet, we're not going to be talking about those moments. This is the moment that's going to be talked about. And remember, after the show, this was the moment that got the most recognition. And it goes against everything that the ESPYs stand for. Now, maybe I wouldn't have so much of a problem with this if ESPN didn't invite Butker personally to the ceremony, despite the fact that there was no reason for him to be there. He didn't win any awards. He did not need to be there at all. But they invited him personally and then bashed him the entire time. They bashed him with this thing. It's a case of ESPN having their cake and eating it too. Someone takes time out of their day and their off season to come to your ceremony. You personally invited them there, and you make a statement saying, yeah, we don't really want you here. You don't belong here. We don't want you here at all. Like, do you want them here or do you not want them here? Well, clearly based on that statement, you don't want them here, but then you invited them. It contradicts itself. It goes against everything that you just did. And yes, I know there are jokes that are made all the time at these ceremonies, even poking fun of the people in attendance. That's a common theme with a lot of these ceremonies. But based on the tonality, based on the words said, based on the message that was being delivered, this clearly wasn't made to poke fun at someone. This was genuine hurt. This was the host saying, we don't need you. We don't need you watching women's sports. We don't need you as part of our industry. This was not a lighthearted jab that's all in good fun. This was clearly, there was clearly some anger behind this one. And again, I want to make this extremely clear. In no way whatsoever am I defending Harrison Butker for those comments. I'm not even blaming Serena Williams for those comments because she has a right to use her platform the same way that Harrison Butker had a right to use his platform at a commencement ceremony, free speech and all that. I'd be a massive hypocrite for bashing Serena here and defending Butker, even though I'm not defending Butker, but you get the idea. This is about ESPN. I want to make that extremely clear. This is about ESPN and their double standards and their hypocrisy by going against their own mission statement and by inviting someone only to tell him that he's not welcome. And the whole point of the ESPYs is to commemorate and honor the past year in sports, and instead, all we're talking about afterwards is you don't belong in sports. All we're talking about afterwards is we don't want you supporting our sport, which I think kind of goes against the whole point of the ESPYs. But what are your thoughts on everything that Harrison Butker said? Your thoughts on Serena Williams' comments? What are your thoughts on the 2024 ESPYs? Did you like the show? Did you not like the show? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. And that is going to do it for this episode of JG9 News. Be sure you like and subscribe. It helps the channel out a lot. And be sure to check out my main channel, JaguarGator9, where we talk all things NFL history all the time. Until next time, this is JaguarGator9 signing off. And as always, go Jags.